Hey crafters, I'm back. I'm gonna do another drill with me, but I'm actually starting this video to reach out and ask some of the diamond painting experts out there for their opinion, how I should handle this situation and what I'm doing wrong. So we're still working on Ariel. We just started, we've had one drill with me. I had a really hard time getting the plastic cover for Ariel off when I started. It ended up ripping in different sections. I had to take my finger and like scrape it off for part of it. And for the first drill with me, I had all the plastic completely off Ariel just to work easier. And you saw my pen and my drill case, they were all getting stuck. So after that drill with me, I laid the plastic back down as I've always done, as I did with Snow White. Today I came back and I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what's happening to my canvas, if this is normal. Experts, please help. But as you can see, it's difficult to peel it off again. And now the plastic cover is ripping again. So I'm gonna have to really like take my fingers and peel that off. I'm not sure what I've done wrong. But it is a little bit harder today, and even over here, not on the camera, let me make sure I really get this, because I need your help, guys. I went to pull the plastic off over here on this side after I ripped it on the last side, and it ripped again. And all the way up here, I don't know if I can get the camera. Oh, with the sun glare, you might not be able to see it. But I tried pulling it from the top and ripped an entire chunk of plastic from the top. So if you have any input on how I can better handle whatever's going on with this plastic sheet, or if I've done something wrong, I don't think I did anything wrong, I just did what I usually do, please let me know, because I do not want to have to deal with really given a lot of effort to pull the plastic off my canvas and maybe damage it. I don't want to deal with that. So your input would be appreciated. From here, I'm gonna cut the camera off. I'm gonna do my best to pull up as much of this plastic, and we're gonna get started on a drill with me today. The baby is sleeping, but he's already been down for a while, so I'm not gonna have a lot of time. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this spiral shell, and if I need to, I'll cut it off and do another drill with me later, and I'm gonna work on this beautiful blue background. I'm really excited to work on this blue and purple background, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, crafters, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this beautiful spiral shell. You know I like to work from the outside in, so I will do J first. J is gonna be DMC 741, and let me put it on the tray for you if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is a bright orange, a bright pumpkin orange. Here's what it looks like on the tray, and it's actually coming across pretty well on the tray as what I see in real life. So I have so much to talk to you about. I feel like this is gonna be really scattered. So I'm trying to stick to announcements, questions, and then my rambling. That's my three things I wanna try and get to. Oh, let me actually line this tray up better, and I could use my 3 spacer a bit more. So, announcements. A wonderful viewer named Dion found this canvas on the Heartful Diamonds website. She found it, and it was considered, it's called like a limited edition special. Maybe that's why I couldn't originally find it. I might have not been looking in the right spot, but she tracked it down, and it is available, but it's only available in 50 by 70. So this is 70 by 100. So it is going to be a smaller canvas, and when you go smaller, you do lose a little bit of detail. But if this is something that you're interested in, you want to work on this one, the Heartful Diamonds website has it, and I will go ahead and link it down in the comments. I will also link the other Heartful Diamonds Ariel canvas that can be purchased from Amazon, and then those are, shipped to your house. pretty quickly. But that's good because it leaves another option besides AliExpress of a place that you can get this canvas. Questions. I had some questions come in that I thought were really interesting and I wanted to cover them. One was actually about the clear plastic cover of, do I pull it off my entire work area or do I just pull it off as I go? Like, how do I work? I like to only pull off the cover as I go. But yesterday I was having problems, or my last drill with me, getting the canvas plastic off. And then today at the beginning of the video, you saw how much I was struggling and that it's ripping and I don't know what to do. So I was able to take it off, and right now I only have the area that you see uncovered. But I prefer to only work a small section at a time because when you have kids and the dog running around, I quickly sometimes put the diamond painting away, just throw the plastic on it, or if I forget and the dog hops on the table or the kids start playing with the diamond painting, there's only a small section exposed. And it just seems like every time they touch the diamond painting, it's their entire hand. Wow, I'm really zoomed in, look at that. Their entire hand that just touches it, so their hand gets stuck. But they have little hands. Another really good question I got was actually about shopping in Tunisia. If there were big stores, neighborhood stores, outdoor stores, like what it was like. And the great thing is we have all of that here. We have a large, large grocery store, which is like, imagine a super Walmart, even bigger. It is called Carrefour. It is a French brand, and we have it here. There's a huge one that's about a 10-minute drive, maybe 15 with traffic, from my house. And it's called a hypermart. So it's technically inside of a mall. You walk in, and there's mall stores. You walk to the back, and it's this massive grocery store. And it has everything. It has a whole, what could be a whole entire store of appliances. What could be a small bookshop. What could be your massive grocery store, all in this one large building that, you know, is similar to a super Walmart, super Target. It's huge. I once went in there just to buy 2 or 3 things, and I left in 30 minutes, and I thought that to be a huge success. My average grocery shop is more than an hour because I need to give myself time to get inside, walk all the way back past the stores to the grocery area. I need to walk through the whole store, wait in line, and sometimes if you go in the evenings, waiting in line could be a 15-minute activity there alone. And then back out to the car. So I give myself an hour. And it's not like I am filling my cart full for grocery shopping. I'm getting kind of maybe a week's worth of items. Also, another thing they have here is like you pick up your produce and your fruits and your veggies, and then you have to take it to a weighing station to get a tag put on it. You can't just take it to the front and have them scan it or weigh it at the front. So it's all done there in the produce section. And if it's a really busy day, then you have to stand in line and wait for the weight scale. And if the person in front of you has an entire cart of fruits and vegetables, then you are going to be waiting a little bit longer because they have to scan weigh every single product, get a printed out label, and bring it back. We also have really cool outdoor places. One I like to go to is every Sunday. It is a massive flea market, and it's a huge field. Could be the size of like a baseball field with like surrounding areas to give you an idea of like what the size would be in the US. And every Sunday, bright and early, maybe 3-4 a.m., they start setting up tents and tables, and you can go and get whatever you need there. You could get fresh vegetables. You could get talk break. I'm done with J's. I'm gonna put it back. You could get a cell phone charger for a 1998 Nokia phone. Anything is able to be purchased there, but the majority of the tables do have secondhand clothing. I'm gonna start with K next. Let me get K. K is gonna be DMC 742. This is a lighter orange, not a marigold, definitely still a shade of orange. Okay, it's coming off a little more orange on camera than what I see in person, or maybe my eyes are just fooling me and it's actually that orange. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This market, it's really nice. They mostly have clothing and it is all laid out just in a pile on separate tables. And different sellers usually come there with a lot, so they have multiple tables set up. And they're just standing over their tables, so whoever like the guy is near those tables, that's the guy that you ask, how much is this? And an entire table will have the same price. So it'll be filled with kids' shirts, and everything on that table will be 3 dinar, which right now, since the US dollar and the dinar is, Tunisian dinar is going down a little bit, so it's $1 US for 3 Tunisian dinar. So you could pick up some kids' clothing for the equivalent of $1 US. And even though it's secondhand, there is some serious quality control that's going on there. The items are still in good condition. They're not faded or really worn out. You can get coats. My friend was telling me the last time she went, she got a winter coat for her daughter for 7 dinar. So I think it was 7 dinar, maybe it was 8. So that's $2 US in some sense. And it was a really nice thick jacket. I believe it had a hood and like a sparkly little belt that went around it. So really good prices. And it's just that thrill of like a flea market. You kind of have to dig through and find what you want. So those are the announcements. Oh, my kid's toy just went off. That was unexpected. Those are the announcements and those are questions. I have so much going on right now. I don't even know where to start. It's been an extremely, extremely busy week. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the Ireland trip, and I'll talk a little bit, and maybe I'll get into everything that's happened this week, but I mean, just to tease it a little bit, I got into a car accident yesterday. And car accident is really a dramatic, extreme term. A car kind of sideswiped my front end, but I was more just shaken up because I had all 3 kids in the car at the time. And I pulled over to the side of the road. They pulled over to the side of the road. And after, the kids were like, why are we pulled over? What's going on? They didn't even realize that we had gotten tapped. My car is a little beat up, but so I have that to talk about this week. We had, oh, I did it again, guys. I grabbed my tray, and now I have orange drills everywhere because it's stuck. Okay, let me clean this up. We had some people over to the house today because they had to survey our home and figure out who the next family that's going to be living in our house will be when we move. So that was interesting because, you know, I just tried to tidy up the house as much as I could, knowing that people were going to be here, so we spent a lot of time cleaning. I can get more into detail about that at a later date too. But today I really want to keep talking about Ireland. I'm still thinking of Ireland. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. I even took a picture, and let me remember to cut this in. I took a picture when we were on the Ring of Kerry, and after I took it, I'm looking at how pretty it is, and I'm just like, wow, that would make a really good custom diamond painting. I don't know why, that was my first thought. But so I told you all about our trip to Dublin. After Dublin, you know, we went to Trinity College. I told you we went to Winnie's Craft Cafe, And from there, we left to drive to the western part of the country, a little bit south, but to the west. And we went to a place called Killarney. And that was a really great place. There were a lot of fun little shops to pop in, souvenirs. I saw a lot of advertisements for artists who it seemed like had maybe turned their home into also an art studio, so you could just pull off the road and go in. It seemed like everything about it was beautiful and welcoming and kind of this small community feel. We were driving for hours and we're driving past, I want to describe it perfect for you so you can understand. We're driving past these beautiful green fields that have what look to be old, like little stone walls built up all around, like maybe 2 feet, 2.5 feet. And it just seemed like everything I thought I would see in the countryside of Ireland. It was beautiful. We stopped halfway from Dublin to Killarney at a place called Cashel Castle. And that was a really, beautiful castle to see. And that must be a tourist spot because when we got there, there were a lot of tour buses and people visiting and walking around. So I don't know if that's a super top destination. We saw it on the map. We're like, this is halfway. Let's check it out. But it did not disappoint. Really beautiful. One thing they have there is still the original St. Patrick's cross from the 12th century. And they have it in kind of the little museum on site. And of course, right when you get out of the castle, there's a big store there and it's souvenirs and wool. Yes, I had to go in. My husband went and he took the kids to put them in the car and I went in to go and check it out. And I filmed a video, but then I was like, well, there wasn't that many craft items here. It was just a selection of some wool. So I didn't edit it and put it together. But I really liked that just out in the countryside, you could pop into a store and there was wool, fresh, like not fresh, but hand dyed and wrapped and some acrylic. It was really cool. We were even on this drive, we stopped at another town to get lunch. And I don't remember the name of the town, but we just popped in to go to a restaurant and walking down the street, there was a clothing store. And in the front window of the store, I'm just looking in, they have like baby items and some women's shirt and a display of wool. I thought that was pretty cool because, we would pop into just a clothing store and there was still wool there. It shows that knitting is such a great craft there and more people are doing it, where if I see someone knitting in Tunisia, I probably freak them out because I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. That's really great. That's so cool. What are you making? And they're like, oh, making like, and they tell me like whatever they're making. But I liked the availability of wool and yarn and crafts there. But we ended up getting to Killarney, and our hotel there was really great. My husband did a great job planning all this out. It was kind of like a hotel that also had mini apartments. So, we got to stay at a place that had 2 bedrooms. So the kids and I and my husband weren't all crowded in one room, and had like a laundry and a little kitchen, making it easy because the kids have multiple places to play. So it was a really good spot. And in Killarney, we decided to do the Ring of Kerry, which is a great thing, like a big tourist destination there. But I'm really happy that we did it. So the Ring of Kerry is a 3.5-hour drive, and I could be wrong. It might be a little faster, might be a little slower, but we did this, and it's just a drive through the countryside. And as you're driving, it just seemed every single house we're passing, or every other house, has been converted into a bed and breakfast. And they all look beautiful, renovated. The kind of house that I would look at and be like, wow, I don't have enough money to stay there because it is that nice looking. Yeah, I'm at the hotel down the street. But another thing I realized, on the Ring of Kerry, I loaded and had this like little craft map of places that I wanted to stop, and they weren't open, and restaurants weren't open, and these bed and baths weren't open because it wasn't considered in season. I found one place that was open that was selling maps, and I talked to the woman, and she said that in that part, it would be Easter when the places would start opening. And we were then trying to find a restaurant, and we drove for almost an hour just trying to find a restaurant that was open. It was, looking back at the time, just like, oh, I'm really hungry. I hope we find somewhere that's open. But looking back, that was really cool because it wasn't tourist season, and we got to drive this whole ring, and there weren't tour buses all surrounding us, which apparently it gets really crowded and there's a lot of tour buses. We kind of split off from the Ring of Kerry, and I'm going to say this wrong. I'm going to try my best. Skillet ring. My husband is a big Star Wars fan, and off the skillet ring, you can go to some cliffs and see the island where they filmed the most recent Star Wars movie. And that was a really great tourist destination that he really wanted to see. Chat break, I'm done with K. I'm gonna put all of K back in, and I'm gonna pull out L. And that was actually really beautiful because, yes, you can see this island and the places where they shot some Star Wars from, but it was just a beautiful cliff, and you see all this greenery and the water's breaking on the shore. I really enjoyed it as well. And our kids just loved running all around. L is gonna be DMC 743. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, this is more of a marigold color. Maybe I'm just obsessed with marigold right now and I want every color to look like marigolds. It's spring in Tunisia, so we have these beautiful yellow flowers growing all over. So maybe that's why I'm so into the yellow right now. Here's 743 laid out on the tray, and it looks pretty good. What you're seeing is what I see in front of me. Where was I? Yeah, so we went and we saw these beautiful cliffs, and I mean, it really was breathtaking. It was a windy day. So we're up there, the wind is blowing, kind of that situation where I'm not gonna do it here, but we're yelling to hear each other over the wind. But again, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I would love to be there. There are foreign service officers that are posted in Dublin, and they get to travel through Ireland, and very, very jealous. So jealous. We will never get posted there. I just, with what my husband works on, I know it's not gonna happen. But I would love to go back. We were already talking before we'd even left what my husband and I would want to do when we come back, because there's so much to see. It felt like we could have spent 2 weeks alone just in Dublin, and then we could have spent a week doing this Kerry Ring, just driving it every day to stop and see the many castles or the many historic monuments that were located all around it. And then when it was open and I could pop in all those craft shops, that too. One thing that I saw that definitely sticks out is, since I've talked about wool and how much I love it. I love yarn. When we were driving and we're passing these fields, and some of the fields are filled with cows and some of them are filled with sheep, and they've got those cute little stone hedges lining them up, and that's kind of the boundary so the animals don't go in and out. I saw the sheep would have some color on their fur, and I don't know what it's for. I can speculate, but it was really cool because you'd see a field of sheep and their backs would be pink or green or blue or pink and green or red, and I don't know if it was to identify if they got out, and then they'd be like, oh, okay, well, this person has red on their sheep, so we can make sure the sheep gets back to its house. I don't know if it was to I don't know, discourage somebody from shearing the wool off. But it was beautiful and cute to see a whole field of sheep with a pink background. And going back into what I talked about, just stuff to do, like there were just beautiful monuments on the side of the road, places you could stop your car and take a picture. And the Ring of Kerry plus that second ring we did, it really was a from morning till dusk event. When you factor in stopping and starting and the fact there's small, barely 2-lane roads at some point. The end of the drive, we went through Killarney National Forest. And that was beautiful because we got to see animals, mountains, rivers, and a lot of picturesque places to stop. We spent, I think, 2 days in Killarney. From there, we drove up to Galway. And I really enjoyed Galway. I posted a video of a craft shop that I stopped in there. It was a 10-minute walk from my hotel. How lucky did we get with that? On our time in Galway, we went to check out the Cliffs of Moher. I'm not sure the correct way to pronounce it. And again, just some really beautiful cliffs, absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to add a picture. Let me make a note to myself to add a picture or some video or something. Oh, the day that we were going around the Ring of Kerry, at one point we're driving through the mountains and we're going around a turn and a dog runs in front of our car and we slam on the brakes and we stop and another dog comes in front of our car and another dog and another dog. So it ended up being maybe 30 dogs that had escaped from the farm. And I don't know, they might have been sheep herding dogs. It looked like they were probably that. But it just felt like such a fun and silly moment because we were looking at all this beautiful landscape and then we stop because we have like 30 dogs just crossing in front of our car. And when we end up leaving and like all the dogs had passed, I saw 4 guys coming out, like trying to get to the dogs. And I like leaned out the car window and I'm waving and they're waving. It was just a really nice place. Anyways, we go to Galway and we checked out the Cliffs of Moher. When we got to Galway and the cliffs, it was really, really foggy and not good views at all. But we lucked out. We stayed long enough. We went into the gift shop. We went into the cafe, got something to drink. And because we stayed longer, all the fog lifted and it was a beautiful, beautiful view. And then from there, we just made our way back to Dublin. And our trip was over. I know I'm forgetting tons of detail. If you have any questions, of course, I would definitely answer it. But it was so peaceful and relaxing. And you would go on these drives and stop at these lookout points. And since it wasn't high tourism season, we would be the only people there. The only people we could see, couldn't see a house, couldn't see anything. And you would just have the sound of waves or the sound of trees rustling, and it was gorgeous. Another random thing for our day in Dublin, I popped into a grocery store when we were there. We wanted to, oh gosh, I forget what we wanted to pick up. Water. Oh, we wanted bottled water for our hotel, and none of us were really hungry for a dinner, so I said that I would just pick up some fruit and some veggies and we kind of snack on that. I go into a grocery store and I'm so overwhelmed. This grocery store looked exactly like a grocery store I would walk into the US, the layout, the food, the brands, everything. Like I'm face to face with the same things that I would have bought if I was still living in the US, and I felt so excited and so overwhelmed as to what to buy. And this might sound really crazy to you guys, but I'm there and I go to the fruit section and I'm putting stuff in my cart and they had green grapes. And I have not seen a green grape in a very long time. Grapes are seasonal here, and even then, I mean, if you buy them when they're everywhere, they're affordable. As they their season starts to slow down, they get pretty expensive. And I was so excited. I bought 2 packs of green grapes and I spent that night and I ate grapes for dinner. Those little things from home that just bring so much comfort. I ate the grapes. But that was our trip. It was really great. There we go. We're done with our shell. Yay! So it is pretty close to when the baby is going to wake up. So I won't have a whole lot of time, but I will continue. I think I'm going to start some of this background area. And my finger's not really on camera, so I will move over so you can see where I'm at, what I'm talking about. Go ahead and work on some of this blue. I think it's going to look really beautiful. The dark blue, the purple, the light blue all blending together. So I'm excited to check this out. And I want to do this purple. I want to start with that little arrow pointing over to the right. I think that's one of the ones I have in a plastic container. Yes. So this purple is going to be DMC 3746. Let me show you what it looks like on the tray. So the 2 things I teased, I'm going to talk about the accident really quick. So I was going to pick my husband up from work, and that's when it happened. And check it out, purple. The purple on the tray looks pretty good. Maybe brighter, or I'm sorry, darker. Maybe darker on camera. I feel like that is brighter in my tray. But I was going to pick my husband up from work, had all the kids in the car, and I was in a roundabout. But some of our larger roundabouts here have lights. So I had a red light and I'm waiting in the roundabout. There is a lane next to me to my left. And there's space to my right, but it's not a lane. But a car pulls up in that space and then another car behind them. I'm not sure where the person who hit me was at when the light was red. But once the light turned green, I start driving forward and the person to my left drives forward. But the taxi on my right also starts to drive. And there's not enough room for all 3 of us to go. So I'm inching forward, but I'm not going fast. They're both going faster than me because there's nowhere to go. I mean, if I had gone, someone would have ended up on the side of the road. It would have been a really weird thing. I didn't feel safe. I just was inching and they were going. Then the taxi basically cuts me off and I start moving forward. I'm now moving through the roundabout and to my right was a white SUV and they start going through the roundabout on my right-hand side, but there's no room there. So again, I end up slowing down and they fully cut me off, go over to the left into my car. It hits the front side bumper of my car. I end up hitting maybe their back door or their back driver's side panel. And again, I mentioned like the kids didn't even feel this. They were just like, wait, what's going on? They were sleepy. They were getting ready for a nap anyways in the car. But I felt it. It fully hit into the side of the car and it felt like it pushed the side of the car, the whole car, over to the left. Wow, I'm done with all that purple. So we get through the roundabout and he's in front of me because he hit me. He pulls over to the side of the road. I pull over behind him and I'm not in shock, but I'm just like, whoa, what? That really just happened? My car just got hit. And to make you better aware, like, fender benders aren't a big deal here. You know, fender benders happen. Sometimes you pull your car over. Sometimes the people just drive off. I'm gonna go ahead and start on this number 1, which is gonna be DMC 156. So he pulls over and quickly gets out of his car, which I felt a little worried about. Like, whoa, he hit into me. What's going on? He came out, he was looking angry, a little aggressive, and I immediately called my husband. But he starts looking at the car, and he's like, no, oh, sorry, that's 156 on the tray. And he's like, it's okay, it's gonna come right out. Our car is not okay. We had quite a bit of his paint on our car. But to break it down even more, I can speak Arabic at the grocery store, and I can speak Arabic to ask somebody about their day, how their family is, daily conversation. I cannot speak enough Arabic or French to deal with car parts, a car accident, car scrapes, and I just was like, what am I gonna do? And he's going through all the languages. He went through Arabic, he went through French, and then he's like, English? And I'm like, yes, English. And he's able to talk to me a little bit in English, but he's really insistent, it's just gonna come out, it's just gonna come out. So I think that he understood that he was at fault. And I just didn't have kind of the words. I mean, what am I gonna do? Get his insurance? I didn't understand how to do any of that. And to pull back the curtain a little bit for safety issues, we're just told, like, if you get in an accident and it's not bad, just get to a place where you're safe. Don't interact, just get to where you can be safe. And I was like, you know what, the car is scratched up. It's already scratched up. I need to leave here, because the last thing I want is another car stopping or a fourth car stopping, and then I'm standing on the side of the street with my kids in the car. I don't speak the language, and now cars are stopping. I was like, I'm getting out of here. And I'm like, it's fine, it's fine. He gets in his car, I get in my car, and then I kind of drive further down the street to really take a break, get out of the car, check it. Our front end is scraped up. But I mean, it's not like it's dented in. It wasn't fender bender, slight fender bender, but I was really shaken up after it. I called my husband again. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry that I just called you, but look, I got in an accident. I got out and checked it. I think the car's kind of messed up, but I had to leave. I didn't understand that well. I didn't know how to communicate. And he's like, don't worry, everything's okay. Car's gonna be fine, not a big deal. I get to his work, I pick him up, he takes a look at it, and he's like, okay, it's a little bit more scruff than I thought was gonna be there, but don't worry, totally fine. Car stuff here is actually extremely inexpensive. Cool. I got number 1 done. I'm gonna stop drilling and just talk for like 2 or 3 more minutes and go and get the baby, because I think he's starting to stir. Car stuff is really inexpensive here. Like, going to get an oil change would cost like $5 US, or getting our car detailed is $3 US. And I just remember being younger and like thinking of getting my car detailed in the US, and it was like maybe $75, $100. So it would be really inexpensive to fix just the outer paint of what's going on with the car. But yeah, that was yesterday, and then I came home and I did dinner, and I'm like, man, I'm just chilling out today. I'm not doing anything else. So when I tell you that it's been already, it has been quite the week, I am telling you, it has been quite the week. I'm gonna go ahead, pause this video. The next one that I start back up, I hope to have started some of the black and maybe even finish this section of outline, and then I'll fill you in on all the people we had at the house today, checking things out. And the move is coming up faster and faster every day, and everything we're doing with that. So gonna cut this video off, and I will talk to you again when we drill again together. So thanks for watching, thanks for being with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, crafters.